When you say prioritize you, what are we talking about here?
So I have found, and I said this earlier in the first half of the show, that you know, typically, even if you do get an idea of what that purpose is for you, if you don't have space in your life, and if you don't make yourself and your vision a priority in your life, then it will not ever happen. It won't. Oh, there's Kitty. Sorry.
It's okay. Hi, Kitty.
As if I'm sitting still in one spot, they're all over me. They're like, oh my gosh, pay attention to me, because I'm never sitting still.
Because they want you to prioritize them at that given point.
Oh yeah, that's how cats are. They just work that way. So I think, it's really important to make space in your life and make space for you. I teach this a lot with my clients, in that, you know, how many of us walk around all day, every day, and our calendar is just absolutely packed, one thing after another, right? You know, my phone is constantly dinging about, like, you have to be on this Skype call and this meeting and this, you know, all these different things. So if you're not making time for you to connect with your dreams and your vision, they're probably not going to reveal themselves to you. I always liken this, especially for women, as a closet. So if you have a closet that's jam-packed and you literally cannot fit another piece of clothing in there, you know, you could buy new hangers, but they're not going to fit anyways. Where are they going to go? What do you need to do? You have to start clearing stuff out. You have to make space for it. So if you want newness, if you want to discover your purpose, if you want to get clarity around what you're supposed to be doing, you have to make time for it. And if that means you're scheduling it into your calendar, then you absolutely have to do that. I mean, I encourage all my clients to make dates with themselves, essentially.
Exactly.
Like you would with another person.
Exactly. I mean, there's an old saying goes something like, you know, if you don't schedule your calendar, somebody else will fill it for you, or something close to that, where, you know, if you leave time open in your calendar and you let people fill it, you know, people will take that time and fill it with their own priorities. Now, when you're talking about people prioritizing themselves, do you get the pushback a lot that people say, hey, I don't have the time to prioritize me. My calendar is already full. Do you get that pushback a lot?
Oh, absolutely. And my response always, and this is not just even to clients, you know, people always say, well, I don't have the time. If it's a priority to you, if it's important to you, you will make time, period. Hard stop. Like, that's just, and if you're not willing to make the time, then it's clearly not important to you. So is the pain of having a calendar packed with stuff that you don't like, is that more important than canceling a few appointments and making time to connect with you and your vision?
Right, exactly. And I'm going to guess, and correct me if I'm wrong, is another technique you use is to tell people, look, you know, take a look at the meetings you're making right now, and if this pain is immense, when can you start planning on yourself? And when you can, then stop making meetings. So if your calendar's booked for the next month, then commit to yourself that 31 days from now, or 32, that's when you're going to start. And when people ask you for meetings, you're going to basically block out the time that far ahead. I mean, do you ever use that strategy? And if so, does it work? Does it not work?
I don't. I'm typically a little bit more intense. So I'm basically like, if you're not willing to prioritize this, then I kind of don't want to, like, I can't work with you. Because if you're not willing to make time for your dreams to become a reality now, then you're clearly not ready for your dreams. If you're as ready as you say you are, you will take the steps to prove to yourself and the universe that you are there.
So you basically say, look, if you're ready, you got to start canceling some of these meetings you've set up. That's kind of right. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
That's
really
awesome.
too, I try and start my clients on 15 minutes a day. Who doesn't have 15 minutes a day? I mean, you could literally get up 15 minutes earlier.
Yeah.
You could put your hair in a top knot instead of blow drying it that morning. I mean, you can make 15 minutes a day if it is truly that important to you. If you want to live a truly remarkable life, you have to start somewhere.
That's awesome. I'm glad you say 15 minutes. It's funny. Some of the people, when I work with clients, they say, hey, I don't have, when they struggle to create content and everything, they say, I don't have an extra hour a week to do it. And I say, I guarantee I can give you an extra hour. And they're really shocked. And I say, yeah, you wake up 5 minutes early and go to bed 5 minutes later. And they
Yep.
start, then all of a sudden people start to get the thing. It's like, wait a minute, if I wake up 5 minutes early and go to bed 5 minutes later, that's 10 minutes a day. That's an hour a week. Even forget about Sunday. There's your hour a week you can do it. So, but I love your concept of 15 minutes and starting people off with 15 minutes, because you have to build momentum. I mean, it's great to be hard, but I think what you're trying to do there, and correct me if I'm wrong, is you're building momentum so that they start to take responsibility to prioritize themselves and then build the momentum where they are that ultimate priority, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, as it progresses, I mean, I started with maybe 20, 25 minutes a day, and I'm up to, my mornings are 2 hours long before I even like get out the door in the morning to go to work. That's my time to spend with me and really truly fill my cup to make sure that I'm coming from a good place, so that when I go out and serve the world, I have something to give.
Yeah, that is so beautiful. I tell you, it's interesting because, so let me ask you a quick question, because it does have something to do with prioritizing you. In that 2 hours, you have affirmations and that stuff you do to kind of reinforce. Excellent.
Yeah,
Go
I
ahead.
have a whole ton of stuff that I do. I mean, depending on the day, I try to incorporate some sort of body movement. So whether it's yoga or I throw myself dance parties a lot in the mornings or something like that. I also do my gratitude journal in the morning and kind of set up my goals for the day. I'm a huge proponent. I love my breakfast. So I sit down. I have a sit-down breakfast every single morning. Usually involves some sort of kiddie time. I have a visualization, I have affirmations, so I do, you know, a whole ton of stuff, and I'm on a really strict eating regimen right now, so I am prepping food in the morning as well, and just, I mean, it's all sorts of stuff, but it's time for me to really take care of me and my needs.
That is awesome. And part of the reason I bring up about the affirmations is one of the things when I deal with clients, from the, I'll say, from the more ethereal side of things I do, they don't, some people say, well, I don't want to do affirmations because I don't look as stupid as Steve Carell did in Evan Almighty standing himself in front of a mirror. And it's like, look, or Bruce Almighty, I forget which one it was in, but it's like, look,
I
yeah,
do.
I was going to say, it's like, yes, that movie gave affirmations a very, very bad name, but you got to understand it was a comedy. It was made to be funny. So if you just kind of understand where it's coming from, and they work when you prioritize, when you prioritize you. And that really leads into the next piece about trusting your vision, because at least I would interpret, and then I'm going to throw it to you and ask you, but I would interpret and say, if you can't prioritize you, and if you're not making you important, that for me it would sound like it would be tougher to trust your vision, because if you treated everything else as more important than you, then it's tougher to trust your vision. When it comes to trust your vision, is that true? And let's dig a little bit deeper into trusting your vision.
To watch the rest of this epic episode now, click on the link below the video. Do it now, you'll be glad you did. Are you still here? What are you waiting for? Watch the rest of this epic episode now by clicking on the link below the video.